Today we're going to talk about the dreaded artist block and how do we overcome it, or at least how do I do it. There's many ways to do it, but I thought I would give advice on how I personally get through artist block, which I think can pertain to writer's block, runner's block, blockity block, I don't know. This video we're going to talk about just artist block and how I personally overcome it and what I do to kind of help get past it. If this is your first time coming to this channel, my name is Sean Koss. I'm a professional artist for the last 15-20 years. I used to work with the company Side 9 Happiness. I co-run a clothing brand called Any Means Necessary, and I'm also known for my mental health series, It's All in Your Head. So how do I go about beating artist block? Now, when I was younger and more naive, I used to think that there's no such thing as artist block. You should just have creativity all the time, just flowing through your head like a water stream. And as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that artist block is just, it's a normal thing. It comes with the territory of creating. Not every artist out there never have a day of artist block. You know, some days we just don't feel like drawing. We're like, you know what, man? I've been drawing a lot these past couple weeks and I don't really have any ideas. It happens to me a ton of times. And I have different ways that I try to overcome it, and I'm hoping this will help you. Number one, I play video games. I play lots of video games. Currently, I'm playing Call of Duty's Warzone. I love military shooter games, any type of first-person shooters. I'm recently jumping back into Halo Infinite, but I love playing video games. It allows my brain to take a seat and relax and focus on something that isn't creative in a sense, like I'm not creating something, but it's allowing me to just absorb all this creativity and inspiration through video games I'm playing. And I've found a lot of pieces I've created in the past have come from playing games like Elden Rings or Diablo, Gears of War. Anything with like really cool creature designs always has a way of inspiring me. If I'm just really burnt out on creating artwork, I'll just play some video games. And sometimes that's days of playing video games. Like we're talking hours, like 8 hours playing, you know? Because I don't like forcing myself to create, at least this far into my career, to where I put out garbage, which some could say that I have a lot of garbage that I keep putting out. Less stinky garbage. And so I'll take days off without drawing anything. I'll always be thinking, you know, trying to keep my mind open for any type of inspiration. Sometimes it's not coming, no matter how hard I try. So I'll just kick back, play some video games with some friends, and just wait for it to come. Second thing I typically do is I watch movies. I watch a ton of movies and a ton of TV. I shouldn't say a ton, because running your own business as an artist and a clothing brand, there's not a lot of time to watch movies. I do try to watch all the new horror movies that come out, but I do find a lot of inspiration behind those movies. And stuff that I've seen recently that have really been inspiring is the Boogeyman movie by Stephen King. Great creature design if you haven't seen it yet. Smile, The Ritual, Hereditary, Talk to Me. There's a ton of movies that have come out, especially in the horror genre, that are just filled with inspiration. And I can usually watch 1 or 2 horror movies and then find an idea out of that. Now, it's never like a direct, like one-to-one comparison to like whatever horror movie I'm watching, but there might be something in there, a scene, a creature design, a lighting effect that just triggers something in my head where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna write that down real quick. Number 3, reading. I don't do a lot of this. My wife makes fun of me all the time because I don't read a lot, but a lot of creative people do read. If you look at a lot of musicians, especially a lot of vocalists and hip-hop musicians, they read a lot. You know, they're always learning new vocabulary, learning new stories, and it allows them to help storytell. I should definitely be reading more. And I know when I was reading more frequently, I found a lot of inspiration in there because you're using your imagination to paint these pictures in your head. And there's nothing more creative than that. If you love to read, or you can even like tolerate reading, try it out. Find a book that you really love, something creepy, something fantastical, and I bet you'll find some creativity hidden within there. And you'll be surprised on how much inspiration comes from that, and you'll just be able to pop new artwork out. Number 4, this one is probably the one I use the most. I'll hop on Pinterest or even the Instagram feed and just look at other artists' work that's been coming out. Pinterest is amazing for it. I hate that it took me so long to get into Pinterest because we thought, oh, it's only a girl's thing for recipes and outfits, blah, blah, blah. And even if it was, who cares? I use it hands down almost every day for inspiration. I will go through pages and pages and pages of just inspiration and just grab things and kind of put them in like my little boards. Some of it sometimes human anatomy, some is color palettes, some are creature designs, figures, dynamic poses. And I love that you can just create as many pin boards as you want. And so I have all these little inspirational boards that I can go to and reference to kind of help generate some type of concept or even just a nugget of an idea, and then I can really flesh it out. One last thing you can do when there's artist block is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just shut down. And hear me out with this. Shutting down in the term of not trying to force anything. Just unwind yourself, take a hot shower, go for a swim, go for a run, just go sit outside and just be one with nature. If you're a creative, there will never come a day where you won't have any ideas. I think it's impossible. A lot of people struggle with, not having any ideas at all. I don't have an answer for that one, unfortunately. I will work on that because I've always had some type of idea pop into my head. And I think it's just a creative thing. Our brains are wired in a way that we are programmed to be inspired. We're almost like a receiver, constantly open, waiting for new information to come in to inspire us. Like those giant satellites that we shoot towards the cosmos and like wait for signals. That's how I feel a lot of us are as artists, where we are just open and we're just waiting. And then information comes in and then we interpret it into our art style. So in a way, we're kind of scientists. We're artistic scientists. These are just some of the ways that I try to find my inspiration. And if I do have an art block, these are some of the things that I will go through to try and overcome it. And there are some times where, maybe it's just hanging out with family or just not doing anything, taking a hot shower or meditating, to where you just have to give yourself a hard reset. Those are the things that work for me. I can't promise they'll work for you, but I do promise that if you always stay open and receiving, that inspiration will always come back to you, and that roadblock and that artist block will eventually erode away to a new idea. So hopefully you like this video. I'm working at getting better at it. Like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you like it. Again, I always ask if there's things that you want me to specifically talk about, art business, art techniques, anything like that. I would love to hear it. But I can't do it if I don't know what you're looking for. With that, thank you so much. I'm out.